think it's time to give our probably very not diverse Oscar
No,
picks
man,
for
it's
this.
it's
Yeah,
it's boring.
yeah,
It's a lot of stuff feels locked, man. I think I have like nine categories. I'm like dead convinced on what's gonna happen, which is
well,
doesn't make for a fun broadcast or show, you know.
yeah. And without a host, I mean, I think they did a good job without a host last year, but
Right.
it's going to be interesting to see if maybe the lack of a host stands out more when maybe there's not as much uh, diversity in the winners, or maybe like surprise winners. We'll see. I mean, last year we had uh, Olivia Colman
Yeah.
win, which
Oof.
was totally unexpected, and everybody had been pegging. Who was it last
Glenn Close.
year? Glenn Close, yes, to take it away and out of nowhere. And then we get a delightful speech. I don't foresee that happening. I mean, we're gonna get a delightful speech from Brad Pitt, no doubt,
Yeah.
which we'll
Joaquin
get
as
to.
well.
Yeah, he seems to have some very thoughtful some takes. He had an interesting speech at the BAFTAs last night. Um, but I guess why don't we just like start away from the back of the ballot forward, and we can kind of just shout out what we think is going to win. Maybe also what we hope will win if there is like a upset, what we'd want it to be. Maybe
Right,
make it a
right.
little more interesting. Where do you want to start? Visual effects?
Sure.
Sure.
This
All
one, this
right.
one, I think is much more open than some of the bigger awards that feel locked. This one's definitely open.
Yeah, so you have Avengers Endgame, The Irishman, The Lion King, 1917, and Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. What are you leaning towards? What do you think will
Right.
take it home?
Well, for all of these awards, I looked back at all like the major awards and like Guild Awards and things that have happened to date. Everything's happened at this point beyond the Indie Spirit Awards, and voting ends Tuesday, so everything's basically locked in.
Mm-hmm.
But for visual effects, it's funny. So the Visual Effects Society, the effects people, they awarded Lion King, but the BAFTA for visual effects went to 1917, and the Critics' Choice Award went to Endgame. And that's, I think, like the only race I found, or I think there's a few other ones, but like where it's that spread around.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to look for precedent and Visual Effects Society. It's been around since '02. The winner of that award has won 10 in the last 17 times, but different the past 2 years. So I don't think Lion King is certainly safe. And I think I'm just going to go with 1917 because I feel like it's going to do well in a bunch of technicals, and I feel like they'll just kind of will throw this one in. But I'm not confident in that one at all.
Yeah, if you had asked me a couple of months ago, I probably would have said The Irishman will be a lock for this,
Yeah.
with the de-aging effects. Um, I think we'll get Lion King with this, although everyone in this category really has I think a good case to be made. Even Endgame, I think, how they stitched that whole movie together, and the scale of it is just so
Right.
impressive. I'm gonna
Thanos is
go
a
Lion King.
very impressive effect for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll go Lion King with that.
Yeah,
I think if
that'd be my second choice. I think it's between Lion King and 1917, personally. So
it worries me because if 1917 gets all of these, I think it's
yeah,
just like it's the night is over,
the inevitability of it all, right?
Right. um, what do you want to go to next? Film editing?
Yeah, sure. So I mean, film editing is an important award because it's usually a bellwether for best picture winners.
Mhm.
And I mean, if you look at this, so 1917 notably is not nominated for best film editing, and Birdman won best picture in 2015 without a best film editing nom, but that was the first time that had happened since Ordinary People in 1980. So it certainly is uncommon for something that's not even recognized for editing to win. And then you look at what's happened. Again, no 1917 to pick. The BAFTA went to Ford versus Ferrari,
Hell yeah.
but then the ACE Awards, the American Cinema Editors Award, the editing folks, they separated by drama and comedy. Comedy went to JoJo, and then drama went to Parasite. So I think this is going to be Parasite.
That'd be nice, right?
That's what I'm going to go with.
Uh, you know, Yeah, I'll go with you on Parasite. I had Ford versus Ferrari underlined as well as Parasite on this one. I hope it's Parasite. I worry that this could be Joker, and then
Mm,
it's going to be like 1917 and Joker, kind of just like picking up
interesting.
off awards as they move forward. But um, I'm gonna go with you on Parasite for that one. I think that one's the most deserving. I'd like to see it get some more awards than just the best foreign language or international feature film, I should
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
Um, okay, so this one, next one, production design. This category actually is pretty tough to pick for me. We have Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, The Irishman, 1917, Parasite, and JoJo. I mean, each one of those is spectacular in their own way. I think it's gonna be 1917. If I
Yeah.
had to guess, it's a very impressive set design. I mean,
Mhm.
obviously you really feel like you're in the trenches with them, and uh, no matter what part of the movie you're in, it's impressive. Uh, I would hope if there is an upset here, it's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I think it's between those two, but I would also lean 1917, which did win the BAFTA for this, even though I think the unfortunate aspect is that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, apart from Brad Pitt, really kind of fell off as a contender. So a lot of these smaller awards that it obviously is very deserving of that I think we had pegged for
mhm,
Hollywood a few months ago, definitely don't seem so certain now. And
mhm.
production design is one of those. I mean, like the creation of LA throughout Once Upon a Time in Hollywood's incredible.
Yep.
And I mean, just think of like the Brad Pitt racing down Sunset in the car, like scene like that, where you just whip
Amazing.
through the blocks. It's amazing. But 1917 also, I think, wows lots and lots of people that vote and that make movies because they see just the scale of the sets
Mhm.
for that movie. So yeah, I think 1917 gets it.
Man, this is really bumming me out. Especially because the next one I have on my list is cinematography, and you
Lock,
have
one of my locks.
1917, The Lighthouse, The Irishman, Joker, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. But it's 1917, Roger Deakins. Like
Yep.
this, I don't even know why they're going to broadcast this because we all know. Like,
Yeah. I mean, they'll broadcast it just because everyone likes Roger Deakins, so they're
yes.
happy to see him win this for the second time. This also won the BAFTA already,
Hmm.
and the cinematography Guild Award. So, I mean, awesome that Lighthouse is there at all.
Yeah.
Love that,
Shout it out.
deserving deserving choice. But yeah, this is one of the locks. That's easy. I mean, the cinematography is the most uh, impressive thing about 1917, so it obviously is the one that should win.
Yeah, and you already know that the highlight reel for that is the run across the
Mm,
charge. Like you already
yeah,
could see it. You like the cinematography, don't you, Lobster? That was a terrible
Hawk.
attempt. Costume design, Irishman, Little Women, JoJo, Joker, Once Upon a Time. Little Women, I think for this one.
Yeah, Little Women won the BAFTA, and
Yep.
I think it's kind of getting that. It's a period film.
Hmm.
Um, it's funny the Critics' Choice Award went to Dolomite Is My Name, Ruth Carter, which is not nominated for the Oscars. But
Hmm.
yeah, Little Women, another movie that like Hollywood is not going to get a whole ton of recognition. So I think awarding something that it's definitely a leader in for this year, like costume design, is would be great to see, and I feel like that's the way it's leaning.
Yeah, if there's a dark horse for me, uh, I'd hope it'd be Once Upon a Time, but I think it actually might be JoJo for
Yeah,
this.
that's the
Um,
thing. The rising JoJo energy, you'd feel like, yeah, I think
yeah,
JoJo is a dark horse for a bunch of things right now.
makeup and hairstyling. Yeah, Bombshell, Joker, Maleficent, Mistress of Evil, Judy in 1917. I think this could be Bombshell for this one. It won the BAFTA, right? I
It
think for
did.
this. Yep.
BAFTA and the Critics' Choice. This is another lock I have. I mean, everyone's pegging it for Bombshell, and yeah, I think that one's pretty easy. When you have multiple transformation performances like you do with Kidman and Charlize, like
Hmm.
as you do in Bombshell, I think it's a pretty easy win.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
deserving for
yeah.
sure. Um, Sound mixing, Ad Astra, Ford versus Ferrari, Joker, 1917, Once Upon a Time. What are you leaning with in this category? I didn't really make a pick here.
I'm leaning 1917, which won the
Mhm.
BAFTA, but Ford versus Ferrari, I think, is
Up
also right
there.
there in the mix.
It's just 1917 is going to be up there so many times. I feel like,
Hmm.
especially as we move to sound editing, and we have Ford versus Ferrari, Joker, 1917, Once Upon a Time, and Star Wars. It's going to be 1917. You know,
Yep.
just
Yeah.
stay up there for those two. Announce them at the same time.
Interestingly, the BAFTA is combined just best sound. I know that's something that's been talked about for the Oscars in the past. I would not be opposed to that. I know that's one of those blog articles that gets rewritten every year. What is the difference between sound mixing and sound editing? Because people just don't keep it straight. So why make
Yep.
it so complicated? But yeah,
I
I
don't
feel
know.
like 1917 is going to win both of these, but I think Ford versus Ferrari is the second for both as well. But shout out to Astra. That's a great nomination. Happy to see that.
They should show the voting. Show us how close it is. I want to know. I
Oh
want to
man,
know.
imagine.
Original song. So we have "I Can't Let You Throw Yourself Away" by from Toy Story 4. "I'm Standing with You," "Breakthrough," "Into the Unknown" from Frozen 2. "I'm Gonna Love Me Again" from Rocket Man and Stand Up Harriet. This feels like a lock. I'm gonna go.
Yep.
"I'm Gonna Love Me Again" from Rocket Man.
Yep. I also
Our,
wrote this as a lock. It won the Globe already. It won the Critics' Choice. Uh, it's Elton John
yep,
and also Taron.
yep.
Taron did not get through Best Actor in the end, but everyone has loved him all award season as he is glad handed like no one has glad handed before. No shame in that.
He was
So yeah, I
running.
think it's gonna win. This will be performed at the broadcast. This is a lock.
Yep. Uh, Original score. We have 1917, Joker, Little Women, Marriage Story, and Star Wars. I mean, this is probably gonna be Joker, but I gotta say, I do not recall the Joker score very much at all. Do you?
Yeah, so it's gonna be Joker. Won the BAFTA, won the Globe, won the Critics. But yeah, I forget her name. Hinder, uh, who's gonna win for it? It's funny because you look at this race and you have Alexander Plot for Little
John
Women, and you have
Williams.
the uh, Newman for Marriage Story, and John Williams, of course, for his 100th nomination. And
Yep.
like it's a big who's who, but I feel like Joker just kind of like took this one by the horns like a few months ago, and it just kept winning. So yeah, but yeah, like there's that one. I'm trying to think. Like there's a few moments. I get the bathroom
Bathroom
scene,
scene. Yeah.
like that has memorable music, but it's a little understated for a score, to be honest.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't know
I,
what it
I would have
was.
personally picked Little Women.
Me too. I was gonna say Little Women is my favorite in this category because I have such distinct memories of the sound of like watching Joe like run through the woods back to her home or like
Sure.
traveling from one place to another. It just really stands out. Um, all right, international feature film. We don't need to spend much time on this. It's
Fuck.
Parasite.
Yep.
Um,
Good
watch,
field.
yeah, watch Les Mis, watch Honeyland, watch Corpus Christi and Pain and Glory.
Yeah.
Moving on, documentary feature. Well, we're not going to talk about the shorts. I don't know if we even watched. I didn't watch
I
any
haven't seen
shorts.
any of them.
Yeah.
I just quickly looked. Anime short film. The favorite is Hair Love. Heavy favorite. Live action short film. The favorite is Brotherhood. And documentary short subject. The favorite is Learning to Skateboard in a War Zone. But a lot of times those prognosticating for those kind of awards are often wrong. So I wouldn't take any of that to the bank.
Yeah, don't bet on this. Documentary feature. We have American Factory, The Cave, The Edge of Democracy, For Sama, Honeyland. Have you watched any of these?
I have not.
Me
I know
neither.
American Factory's on the flicks. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
This is interesting because the Producers Guild Award for documentary feature went to Apollo 11, which is not nominated. That
No,
was
no.
the highest grossing doc of last year. It was not as big a box office for docs as it was the year before when we had a RBG and Won't You Be My Neighbor and
Mm-hmm.
Four Identical Strangers, some true big documentary hits, and Free Solo, of course.
Yep.
But this year, and
You didn't
apart from
even
Apollo,
mention Minding the Gap. I mean, come
well, that didn't make a lot of money.
on.
Apart from Apollo 11, you also don't have One Child Nation, the China doc,
Mhm.
which was well liked, and the AOC one, Knock Down the House, is in here. So it's kind of an interesting field. The BAFTA went to For Sama, but the DGA went to American Factory, and that's kind of been pegged as the favorite for a while.
Mhm.
But I would not count out Honeyland, which that's the
Got a lot of
Macedonian
praise.
beekeeping doc, which you can watch on, I believe, Hulu right now. But yeah, I think it's going to be American Factory.
I agree. Animated feature. This is an interesting one, right? So
Very interesting.
you have
Very
How to Train
interesting.
Your Dragon, The Hidden World, I Lost My Body, Klaus, Missing Link, and Toy Story 4. If you had gone into this 3 months ago, you're basically like, it's Toy Story 4. Why are we even talking about this? But Klaus seems to be winning everywhere. So what the fuck?
Also, I mean, going a few months ago, you would have assumed Frozen 2 was going to get picked. It's not even
Yes.
here, which is
No.
wild, which I support because Frozen 2 is bad. Anyway,
Trash.
yeah, I mean, well, the whole anarchy of animated feature really kicked off when Missing Link won the Golden Globe, which was
Right.
not a celebrated animated movie. It's truly just, you know, a kid's animated movie. Cool. Like, nothing more to say. It's from Laika, and it's not their best work, definitely. And then Klaus, which is was a Netflix original that just kind of dropped, and people were like, oh yeah, that was a little different. That was cool, I guess. You know, Christmas movies. If you can get a new one and add it to the rotation for everyone, that's a success. Cool, good for you guys.
Sure.
And then it wins the BAFTA, and it wins the Annie Award, which is like the animation awards. And then, but you know, I'm still going with Toy Story 4 because Toy Story 4 won the PGA, and then it won the American Cinematography Editors Animated Award as well. So I'm going with Toy Story 4, but it's truly wide open between, I think, Toy Story 4 and Klaus. I Lost My Body has a lot of like critics awards. That's the French film also on Netflix, but I don't think that could pull through.
I hope it's Toy Story 4. I think it's deserving. It's just an amazing animated film. But I think it'll actually be Klaus, and I think I'm going to be very disappointed by that.
It'll be notable if Lion King doesn't win Best Visual Effects and Toy Story 4 doesn't win Animated Feature Film. Those are the only two awards that Disney is really competing for.
What will they do? What will they do?
I mean, Searchlight movies notwithstanding, I guess, but just kind of interesting to see that Disney with two huge animated hits this year and walks home empty-handed.
They got Avengers Endgame in there once or twice, right? So
sure, yeah. I'm just talking about actually winning anything,
right?
Though.
Yeah, because that's not going to win. So now we'll do the screenplays and we'll do the acting. Adapted screenplay. We have The Irishman, Joker, JoJo, Little Women, The Two Popes. Boy, is this going to be Joker? Is this going to be Joker?
No, I don't think so at all.
Think it's going to be Little Women?
It's Little Women or JoJo, but JoJo just won the WGA, the Writers Guild. And everyone's kind of pegging that as pulling ahead. Funny enough, a few months ago, I would have assumed The Irishman wins this. Steve Zalian, really, really strong script. I kind of had pegged this as The Irishman for a while. But, man, I really wish Little Women would win, but it feels like it's going to be JoJo. Little Women just has a much more impressive script to me. It's an adaptation that like transcends its source material and actually does new things as an adaptation. JoJo, I mean, I don't know if the JoJo script is like, that was kind of my problem with JoJo, because I like it but didn't love it because I didn't think it committed to any being funny or being dramatic enough, in my opinion. But it feels like this is going to be JoJo after the Writers Guild win.
I'd be happy with anything but the Joker from this category, if I'm being completely honest. But yeah, if I had to make a pick, I'm going to say Little Women. I think Little Women gets the recognition it deserves. I think JoJo will go home empty-handed tonight, honestly.
Ooh.
So, the original screenplay, Knives Out, 1917, Marriage Story, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Parasite. Boy, there are like 4 movies here I wish could win. Which one do you want to win, Dave? Let's start there. What do you want to win?
I want Parasite to win because of what it means for the rest of the night.
Right.
What's similar to The Irishman in Adapted? A few months ago, I thought this was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood in a Walk. QT winning. He's won screenplay before. But as we said before, with that not happening as much, you can look at what's happened so far. I think the interesting wrinkle with this was that Parasite won the Writers Guild for original screenplay. caveat, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was not eligible because QT is not a Writers Guild member. Dumb rule, but that's the way it works. They didn't really go head to head. Hollywood did win the Globe, though, which doesn't have a distinction between original or adapted screenplay on top of that. If 1917 somehow won this, then yeah, that shit's a wrap. I don't really think that's going to happen, though.
I don't think so.
And in terms of the screenplay, certainly one of the weaker aspects in terms of the awards that 1917 is up for. So I don't think anyone will be feel too bad about not winning that one anyway. But with the WGA win, Parasite, I still kind of feel like it's going to be Hollywood, though, given the kind of lack of other wins for Once Upon a Time.
Though,
it's tough. I'm not really confident in either one. It's definitely up between those two.
If Parasite doesn't win this one, it's looking like it's only probably going to go home with one. So if we're hoping for any sort of potential upset in Best Picture, it feels like Parasite's got to win this category. But I agree.
Parasite needs this and editing.
Yep.
This is his path.
And I actually agree. I had picked Once Upon a Time in Hollywood with Parasite as my second one. But man, I really wish Knives Out and Marriage Story could both win. I think both those have great screenplays to them. So
yeah, I mean, Marriage Story is another movie that kind of just didn't fade. It's been there the whole time. It's been recognized the whole way. But apart from Laura Dern, hasn't really won much of anything. And you saw that as Noah Baumbach kind of fell off the directing, field.
Yeah, and you just mentioned
the way it works sometimes.
You just mentioned Laura Dern, so why don't we just jump to actress in a supporting role? Because this seems like a lock for her. Her role in Marriage Story is recognized. Kathy Bates for Richard Jewell, Scarlett Johansson for JoJo, Florence Pugh for Little Women. Shout out to Florence Pugh. Yeah. And Margot Robbie in Bombshell. Laura Dern.
Yep. Laura Dern. All these, I'll just say it now, just say it once. All these acting awards are a lock because literally all four of these people have won the BAFTA, the Globe, the SAG, and the Critics' Choice Award. There's been no variety for the major things. So why would you expect it now?
Right. Actor in a supporting role. Brad Pitt's going to take that home for Once Upon a Time. Yep. He's up against Pacino and Pesci for Irishman, Hopkins for The Two Popes, and Hanks for A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. That's a fucking stacked category.
Yeah,
the fact it's such a lock is just like it's just ridiculous to me. Actress in a leading role, it's gonna be Renee Zellweger. Renee Zellweger for Judy, up against Charlize Theron for Bombshell, Saoirse Ronan for Little Women, Scarlett Johansson for Marriage Story, and Cynthia Erivo for Harriet. And then Best Actor, it's going to be Joaquin Phoenix for Joker, up against DiCaprio for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Antonio Banderas for Pain and Glory, Adam Driver for Marriage Story, and Jonathan Pryce for The Two Popes. So now that we got the acting categories out of the way, because
I actually wanted to ask you, if there was one of those to be upset, Olivia Colman beating Glenn Close last year, what would it be? What would you expect? Because again, I don't think it's going to happen. I think these all four are basically in the bank, given the precedent so far. But if you had to pick one, what would you pick?
If I had to pick one, I think the one that could potentially be upset is actress in a supporting role. I think I could see Johansson getting the love there. Like people saying, I'm not going to pick her for Best Actress. I'm going to give that to Renee, but I wanted to give some love to Scarlett. What about you?
I was thinking the other way. I was thinking actress for Renee because Judy is the least celebrated movie here. I mean, Harriet even has an original song now, but Judy literally just has recognition for Renee. Renee also has already won before. And that was one of the first movies that people saw and started talking about in the awards season. That's probably why it got this far. But the JoJo energy we've talked about kind of rising, picking up awards throughout this season. ScarJo's never won before. Now she's a double nominee. Don't think it's going to happen, but I think ScarJo Marriage Story probably would be the strongest chance for anything to break over. Like, it's kind of funny because we thought Adam Driver was a favorite coming in. We thought, all these races were really so stacked, but it's gonna. I think I guess the the positive of it is that because they've been winning so much, they've been thinking about this for so long. They're going to have great speeches. Like Joaquin and Brad, I think, are really going to crush it.
Yeah.
I mean, Renee's speeches have been pretty weak all year too. Maybe that impacted some voting. I don't know.
I don't see it. Man, I can't wait for Brad to just roast QT for his foot fetish again, though.
Oh my God.
I need more of it.
I mean, he wasn't even at the BAFTAs, but he had Margot read his speech, and he like made a joke about being single, just like the United Kingdom. Like, guy's killing it.
He's the best. 2 more categories. Directing. We got Bong Joon-ho for Parasite, Sam Mendes for 1917, Todd Phillips for Joker, Martin Scorsese for The Irishman, and Quentin Tarantino for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Between two, Mendes and Bong Joon-ho.
Yep.
Who do you got?
And another award that a few months ago we were like, Quentin Tarantino, he's going to get it. He's going to get his first Best Director.
He kind of should.
Yeah.
Not going to.
He would be my pick, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
But 1917, Mendes, he won the BAFTA, the DGA, the Critics, and the Globe. We tied the Critics with Bong. So Bong never actually beat Mendes head-to-head at any time during the season in the major awards. So it's going to be Mendes. But, man, if Bong somehow won, that would be insane, because you know what that would mean. But, yeah, I think regardless of the way Best Picture goes, I think Mendes is going to win this.
Yeah, Mendes is the one I chose. Just wanting to be right, but the one, if there's a category that I think we could experience a huge upset, this seems primed, because I really think, I don't know, this kind of reminds me when La La Land and Moonlight went up against each other, and didn't Barry Jenkins win director that year?
No, Chazelle got director and then lost Best Picture. Yeah.
So I feel like we could see something like that, where it's like either Bong wins it and then Parasite loses to 1917, or vice versa, where Mendes wins it. Because I just have a feeling it's not going to go all tape. It can't. You can't just. I'm not going to stay up for 3.5 hours watching this for it to be everything I already predicted.
Right. Well, and that leads into Best Picture, and just kind of looking at the precedent. I mentioned some of them before, but Parasite won the SAG win, right? That was the big win for Parasite as a movie, whereas 1917 won the Globe and the PGA. Parasite does not have any acting nominations, and the last time there was a SAG win without an acting nominations that then won Best Picture, you have to go all the way back to Return of the King, Lord of the Rings in 2003. So not a lot of precedent for that. I mentioned 1917 with film editing. Not common. 1917 also does not have acting nominations. So for a film to win Best Picture without an editing nom or acting nominations, you have to go all the way back to Grand Hotel in 1932, a movie I haven't seen. So there's no precedent for that, right? Mm-hmm. Now, on top of that, we also have 1917 was not nominated by the SAG, let alone won, and also was not nominated by ACE. So in terms of like those top 5 guilds, no film has ever won Best Picture while missing out on 2 nominations from those top 5 guilds, since all 5 guilds were active. So there really is not any kind of precedent at all for 1917 winning. Also, and Parasite also, of course, has a lot going up against it too. Of course, a foreign language film has never won Best Picture. Roma got real close last year. Mm-hmm.
What you're saying is going to be Once Upon a Time in Hollywood with a real upset.
Well, the preferential ballot always has a say in the matter, so you can't write it off. Man, dude, it's Who
do you got? Who do you got?
This could be a Moonlight. This could be a Spotlight. That's your path for Parasite. It's something like that happening. Yeah, I kind of started feeling good about Parasite, which I know is going to be my undoing. And it's what I want to see so bad that I'm just using my own biases to pontificate. But it's 1917 or Parasite. I don't think Once Upon a Time can crack through, although it's probably third place unless JoJo really has rocketed up as much as it just might have. I don't know. Mm-hmm. with a preferential ballot on its side and the fact that Parasite won the SAG and actors make up the biggest amount of the voting body in the Academy, I'm going to go with Parasite. And I'll be wrong in a week.
You know what? I like it. I'm actually gonna say Once Upon a Time only because I can't stomach
Oh,
1917 winning, and
okay.
it would be fun. But man, I think this is gonna be a very boring award show.
And and bears repeating that 1917 winning is not a Green Book win or what we almost got a Bohemian Rhapsody win. It's not that. 1917 is a really good movie. So it's
It's
really
pretty
good
good.
war movie. The problem
Yeah,
is that it's not new or transcendent, and
it's
apparently it
gimmicky.
doesn't stand at the multiple viewings as much as it should.
Right.
And it's not going to win the screenplay.
Mhm.
And
It's gimmicky, which is I think why it's hard to swallow. You know, for me at least,
yeah,
especially when it goes up against these two films, which I don't know. I didn't see 1917 at the top of many people's best films list
no,
above Parasite and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
no, I
So it's just
did that happen at all?
it's so disappointing. It's
Like like 1917 is in my top 20, but four of these other ones are in my top 10, including two of them are in my top two. So there's just tiers to this. And it's
right.
just annoying that like a second tier good movie is going to actually win it over like some truly amazing shit.
Yeah.
Just
Hey,
frustrating. Actually, shit, my top four is in this: Parasite, Hollywood, Marriage Story, and Irishman. And then I
mhm.
also have Little Women in my top 10. I would take all of those over 1917.
Yep. But probably not going to go that way. So
No.
we'll be talking
God
about
damn it.
it unless something really big happens. I don't think we're going to be talking right after because it's all going to be tape probably. But if something big does happen, maybe we'll be coming live to you Sunday evening.